is about the hydrant itself, and residential firefighting will typically take from 1,000 to 2,000 GPMs. Now, the next slide is going to have a little different number on it, but keep in mind that the next slide is minimum. This is typically the range that we're looking at, 1,000 to 2,000. Now, when you do that and you hook to a hydrant in any town in America, you want the pressure in the system to maintain a 20-pound residual. Now that's plumber talk, and that's waterworks, public works talk. But in general citizenry talk, it is that we hook fire trucks up to the system and we pull large amounts of water off of it, but it needs to maintain at least 20 pounds in the system. So that if we want to go down the street and tie into another hydrant, we have water available. So it's available water is what they're talking about. The next thing is, again, spacing. I mentioned that earlier, 300 to 500. When you go out into areas outside of the town limits and you're on your water system, 1,000 is recommended. 900 to 1,000 is good because most of the hoses on the truck are about 1,000 feet. So it allows you to tie into a hydrant and lay to the next house without having to call for extra trucks with hoses and things like that. This is just a ballpark figure that we go with. Typically 1,000 feet of hose on one truck, and one truck turns out. It allows you to bridge the gap between those hydrants with 1,000 feet. And then the last piece is operational efficiency, to where firefighter safety is really what this is about. It's about firefighter safety, it's about property, saving property, and diminishing the amount of damage to someone's property. And I'll talk about insurance in a minute. So here's your recommended flows for everyone. This is a little bit of a chart. The recommended flows, again, residential 6 to 8 inch for a pipe size to be able to get 1,000. Now 1,000 is our absolute minimum for structural. If we do anything less than that, it's back to the garden hose concept. You really, really do need 1,000 gallon a minute, and I'll show you in a minute why. With the size of the buildings. But the only thing you may want less would be like a mobile home, manufactured home. Maybe even some double wide manufactured homes. But you really do need 1,000 on a single family dwelling like what you see behind Arby's, you know, Carolina Avenue, Tennessee Avenue, you know, typical brick ranches from 1960s, 1970 houses, 1980 houses, those 1,000 GPMs, if they're fully involved, it's going to take that much. It's going to take that much to put it out. Otherwise, you're just saying, okay, we came, we showed up, we did the best we could, but we're sorry we couldn't save it for you. So we want to get a chance to be able to save it. Commercial, 8 to 12. And this is where you get into large flows. So if you're thinking about industry coming in, you know, like Hardee's up through here, that's commercial, yes. You've got different fire loads. You have Arby's, you have a Crewe station, you have a large fire load there. Things of that nature, you definitely, you know, like what we had with the tire fire here, that's a commercial fire load. So you have to keep that in mind for the future, 8 to 12. Now, I'm going to get a little bit into firefighting with you, but this is a really simple calculation that any of you can just keep with you at any time. We've all had math, and we've all had probably large degrees of math, but even if we just had one math class, we can do this one. And the thing of it is, you can take a building and you can step it off, and this is something we use in a fire scene. If we step the building off, and say for instance the building is 75 by 50, length times width, we divide that by 3. We just length times width divided by 3. That's it. And that gives you, any building, you get a good idea of what it would take if it was fully involved. Now I'm not talking one room involved, I'm talking fully involved. So if we had a commercial business, we'll just take Hardee's for example. You measure Hardee's off, you divide it by 3, I'll guarantee you it will be more than 1,000 GPMs that you would need it to go if it was fully involved. And that's what you want to do, is overwhelm the fire. That's what it's all about. The next thing, the last bullet, is just accurate fire flow helps to determine pipe sizing and hydrant placement. So those two things work together. Now, let's talk about hydrants a little bit. I know I was referencing, you know, some of the hydrants being painted up with different designs and things. That's great. But today, in this modern world of fire protection, what they're trying to do is standardize across the country. I don't think we'll ever do that, but I think towns and counties can. I think you can do this locally. I think if you told everybody in America you had to go ahead and color code your hydrants, half would say yes, half would say no. But where you have progressive systems, the ones that really, really on top of our game, we want to get better. We want to improve on everything we're doing. The color coding is good for the firefighters because it allows us to know when we look at the top of the hydrant exactly what that fire flow is. And that's what's going on right now. Joey will tell you, Chief Jeanette will tell you, and Chief Basinger will tell you that they know when they roll out here in Crewe that they have green tops are better than orange tops. And we want a green top if we have a large fire. That's the reason why. Take a look. If you have a green top, you know you're getting at least 1,000 GPMs up to $14.99. And we don't have many blue tops in Nottoway County. We have some down in Blackstone, but we have some large industrial lines down in Blackstone, you know, 12-inch and maybe even larger. But typically, if you have a blue line, you have a very, very good flow. It'll take you several fire trucks at one time. It'll take you a lot of trucks that flow large rates. But what you do have now is red, orange, and green. And what you want to strive for is at least a green anywhere you go. And that's the color code. So moving right along, and that's an NFPA standard, by the way. So we want to look to increase main line sizes where you can. You want to do strategic hydrant placement where you can. You want to try to follow the code. You want to try to do as much as you can with planning. If you think a house is going on a dead-end street and you think that street's going to extend, then go ahead and extend the water line first. Because when you do extend the street, then you're coming back to extend the water line. And if you can loop a water line, that's a good thing too. I see on the map, when I met with Hurt and Crawford this week, we had a really good meeting. It was great. And we learned a lot about what they have on the map, and we learned a lot about where you can go with us. And so when you loop your systems, when you have a dead-end line, we saw a couple streets in Crewe that looked like years ago someone was going to make that a block. And I know that all too well. I grew up in a small town, smaller than Crewe. And we had all these dead-end streets that ended up being gravel and grass that they never developed into a street back in the 1930s. And they're still like that today. So I'm with you. And they're all over south side of Virginia. But where you do have an opportunity to take those and connect them, that's a planning thing, and that's up to you. But that would be great because you loop your system. All right, the last bullet you have there is emergency backup systems. And what that means is what we're doing right now. What Chief Jeanette is having to do in Crewe is his backup system is calling tankers from all over. That's his backup system. When he can't get the water over the hydrants that he needs, and he knows exactly which ones they are, and we know they're out there, he has to call for the extra tankers. And if it ends up being a larger one, a larger fire, then you have to call out of county. Because we're going to automatically take care of Blackstone and Burkle are coming. On any structure fire, we run all three automatically in Nottoway County. But then we also have Victoria, and we have, you know, Rice and people like that, departments like that, rather that can come and help. So that's our backup system. And it's a backup system we would like to kind of jump away from because here's why. Staffing is down today. So if you have less trucks on scene, you don't need more trucks when you have a hydrant system because you have a sustained water supply that's uninterrupted, it's reliable, and the truck is doing the job. And you're doing the job with less people. So you have to be ready for those Monday mornings and Wednesday mornings when you have only a few people around, that actually the hydrant systems will help us out by delivering that water supply. Now, this is a broken hydrant. I just wanted to put that in. It's got a top that's broken on top of it. Again, you know, if you're upgrading, that'll take care of that. You also have hydrants in Crewe, like a lot of towns in Southside, that have just two caps on them. And the two caps are the old style 1930s, 40s, and 50s 2.5-inch caps. They're way out of date. You go with the 4-inch cap now, and that's what we hook to is a 4-inch cap with a fire truck. You can use these type, but usually the flow is so limited it will not give you what you need. And again, reduced pressure, increased risk to life and property, and the non-compliance of safety standards may be or may not be, but that's something you have to take a look at as you upgrade. And the operational challenges is we need to rely on those so we don't have to get the tank trucks. Now, let's go to the real good, exciting part of this fire infrastructure upgrade. So as you're doing this, and I heard you had a grant, congratulations, and keep going with that. As you can take your infrastructure to another level, here's what you want to remember. The Insurance Services Office just came to us recently, and they did a survey on everybody in the county. They do this every 10 years. They're going to change it to 5 years. I'm actually going to have them back sooner because our communication system will be points. So as soon as we finish that, I'm going to bring them back so they give us extra points for that. you'll see that it impacts our insurance premiums. The ISO ratings greatly impact insurance premiums for your property owners. The investments in all three of these areas on the left-hand side are what they get the ratings from. So this is where our investments need to go when you're dealing with fire protection ratings. 50% is the fire department. So if the fire department is on their game, they get higher points. If they have the best equipment, they get higher points. If they have some career staffing, they get higher points. And we know we can't do that, but we also know that we have to supplement sometimes. And we also know that we have to cut our response times. We'll get part of our 50 points. But if we don't have all those things, we don't get a total 50 points. And we don't. Most volunteer departments don't. So we do as much as we can. But what we can do is the water supply is 40% of your total ISO rating that impacts your insurance premiums. And then 10% is communications. Well, guess what? With that new radio system, I'm going to say we're going to probably max that out. So we're going to have that piece covered. Check. So the next thing we need to do is get our water supplies in all areas. Check. And then we'll work on our fire department areas that need attention. So that's how they come up with it. That's ISO. That's nationwide. And the water resources are really vital to your community's health. Not just from the drinking water perspective, but from the firefighting perspective for the flow. So ISO works with water companies, municipal agencies nationwide. We have a major component called PPC, which is Public Protection Classification. And that's how we grade it. That's how they come up with a number of 1 through 10. And the water supply is important there because the insurance agents that you know, just ask them what the ISO ratings mean to them. And they'll tell you 1 through 10. And guess what? We have some 10 properties in Nottoway County. 10 means unprotected. 10 means you're lucky if you get an insurance policy. You may not get one written on your property. So that's what the 10 would be at the extreme, or 1 is the best, and we'll go into that now. So the needed fire flow, we talked about the supply system. Let's look at the water supply piece before I go to the full rating system. 30 points out of the 40 for your water supply. Remember, that's that 40% that I just showed you. 30% of that is basically your supply works, your public works, your water main capacity, and your fire hydrant distribution. Your water tanks, and all of those things count for your 30. That's the biggest chunk. Next is hydrant size. Size, type, and installation. Do you have enough? Are they spaced out right? That's 3 points. And then you have your flow testing of hydrants, which most public works do, or they get a contractor to do. And they evaluate the frequency and completeness of these inspections, and that gives you 7 points. So that's where your credits come from for your water supply, 40 points. Really important. So that PPC carries forward. I just put a picture up, one of our new pictures we took at Nottoway High School here. This is a glimpse of everything in the county, one truck from each department. And some of our people there, we took an aerial shot with the drone. This is important to the community. You know, just wanted to show you a community picture. And the personal protection classification that insurers are writing, they're doing the underwriting, is going to calculate your premium. Now, if you ask me what is your reduction based on the improvements, I can't tell you that, but an insurance agent can, because that's a calculation they do. But I've talked to like Crystal Breedlove here at State Farm, I've talked to Farm Bureau, I've talked to Allstate, and all of them are really concerned with fire protection ratings. I get calls at the county all the time, not knowing who to call first, of who are the departments that run to this address. And it'll be someone like on Dutchtown Road. I had a call the other day. This is an address on Dutchtown Road. Who runs the call to your house? And then when I tell them it's either Burton, Crewe, or Blackstone, then what they tell me is, okay, how many gallons of water do they have? How far are they from the fire station? Et cetera, et cetera. So this is important, and this is what they base it on. So in a lot of communities, fire suppression might be a small part of what we do, but the decision the community makes in the planning and delivery of these emergency services is pretty important. All right, here's a picture of your own hometown fire department right here. This is Crewe Fire Department. They took that out here when we were doing the recruitment and retention video shoot at Nottoway High School right in front of the Cougar Den. So this is really important, and if you can see this, and I'm sorry for the audience not being able to read this from back there, I'll just read it really quick. This is the nuts and bolts of an ISO rating. The Town of Crewe currently has a 4.4X, or a 4.4Y rather, insurance rating, which means it's a split rating. It means that in town it's a 4, outside of 5 miles it's a 4Y. And what that means is from a 1 to 10, you're not in too bad of a number. You know, you're in the middle, close to the middle. So a lot of towns in Southside Virginia are 4s and 5s. But there's always points that you can gather to put you to the next number. And they go by 10. You start at the bottom and go 1 to 10, 10 to 20, etc., etc. So this is where we are, 4Y now, before this last inspection. With an infrastructure upgrade, you could very easily maybe go to a 3 one day. So I think these are things to think about. And the first number always is what's in the first 5 road miles from a firehouse. And also within 1,000 feet of a hydrant. So you can write this down. Anyone listening, anyone in the audience, anyone on the council tonight, if you live within 5 miles, and you can check this yourself, 5 miles of a fire station, and you live within 1,000 feet of a hydrant, you're going to get the best rate. Ask any insurance agent. But if you live outside of that 5 miles, that's where we get the split rating. And you want that to be the best it can be, but unfortunately, a lot of those aren't very good numbers. It's because people live way, way out. And it's hard to, provide the best fire protection because of the distance and the lack of a hydrant system. So hydrant systems are important. If you had a hydrant system countywide, you have a lot of good insurance premiums out there in the country. But a lot of counties struggle with that because it is money to run it way out. Typically, you have to have a water authority to do that. And that's what people are looking at now. I think that's what Mecklenburg ended up doing. We know they have Microsoft. We know that. But I think they did the water authority back in 2000, 2010, way back before Microsoft ever came. Things like that are just the only way you can get it out of the country. The second number, of course, is that, the 1,000 feet from the hydrant. If you're outside of that, you'll have a less of your premium will be a little higher. But the last is X and Y. X and Y are just split ratings that deal with an old numbering system, and it's just a new way of doing it for ISO. The individual property owner designations offer the potential for decreased property insurance premiums. Okay? So that's pretty much it. And I'm open for questions. Again, decrease in insurance premiums is always a big deal. When we look at spending money in government, we also look at what is the offset? What is the benefit? And there's many cases where the benefit is back to the citizen. In this case, a little bit more money in is going to maybe reap benefits on the end where they pay their insurance premium. And again, those numbers can be tallied up, but they need to be done by an insurance agent to tell you that if Crewe was a 3, what would your insurance be? So that's just a really, I wouldn't say that was quick. I was a little longer than I wanted to be on it, but I'm definitely here to ask and answer any questions that you have about the insurance ratings on any of this. And this is why we're all so passionate about putting better equipment on the fire departments. It goes down to their hose, their nozzles. Keeping all of those things up is in that 50 points that I showed you. But what you have the ability to do right now is work on that 40 points. That 40 points is really, really critical. We're working on the 10 at the Sheriff's Office in the new communications center equipment that we're getting. All of that radio equipment. I wish we were getting more than 10 points for that. But I think we won't have a problem really making that better than it is now.
Does anybody have anything? Any questions? You must have done a really good job.
Well, you can call me anytime.
Touching all bases. That was
You
really
can call
good.
me anytime. I'll be glad to answer any questions. I look forward to working with you on it. And again, Hurt and Profit, I think they definitely understood what Chief Shadep and I were telling them, that you definitely look at your streets and decide what your vision is for your streets. Only you know that. And that actually, but I would say your commercial areas, wherever you think you're going to do economic development, certainly make sure your line size is big enough. Yeah.
Thank you very much.
Thank you,
Well,
Patty.
you-
Good to see you.
Good to see you, Ms. Stinson. I saw you sitting over there for a minute. We go way back, right?
Yeah,
We go way back.
way back.
Alrighty, our next presentation is from Ampliform. I think it's I don't know which one of you is presenting. I think it's the engineer.
I'd say it's gonna be a mix of maybe all of us, but definitely me and Todd.
Okay,
I'll go first.
whoever would like to come first. And this is Bobby.
Alright, hello everyone. Should I use it? Can everybody hear me?
Yes.
Well, thank you for having me. My name is Bobby Rodriguez and I'm here on behalf of several Crewe landowners to speak with you about the Rocky Ford Solar Project. We're here because we want to earn your support and your trust. This project will only succeed if it's built with local buy-in, and that starts right here in Crewe. This isn't just a business venture, it's a long-term partnership with this community. Let's start with what that partnership can bring. During construction, skilled workers will be staying in local hotels, filling up at local gas stations, and eating at your local restaurants and stores. According to the report calculated by Mangum Economics, the total impact from construction is estimated at more than $13 million in local economic activity, including over $2.3 million in wages and benefits, around 41 job years of employment supported here in Nottoway. In addition, once operational, the project will continue contributing several millions of dollars in new tax revenue over its lifespan, without increasing the demand on schools, emergency services, or town infrastructure. But we also understand that values of the community isn't just measured in tax dollars. We're developing a community benefits plan to provide direct support to the people and organizations that make Crewe and the broader county strong, like local Little Leagues, chambers of commerce, and volunteer-led programs. Our goal is to amplify the good work that's already been happening here. Throughout this process, we've met with neighbors, civic groups, county staff, and local leaders to ensure that our project reflects local values. The outreach will continue before, during, and after construction. We're not just looking to build a project, we're looking to build relationships. And one other item I want to make crystal clear is that this project is only possible because private landowners chose to participate. We didn't ask for any mandates or handouts. Many are local families, farmers, landowners who are exercising their right to decide how to use their land. It's folks right here in Nottoway choosing a partnership that works for them. And finally, we know how important Labrador Creek is to Crewe. Its protection is a top priority. I'd like to invite Todd to speak briefly about the safeguards we built into this project to make sure that the creek and the water that flows through it is protected for generations.
Thank you, Bobby. Hi, I'm Todd Chalmers. Nice to meet you guys. Good evening.
Nice to meet you.
Civil engineer with Baldwin Associates, now a Westwood company. I'm specialized in land development. My office is in Chesterfield County, Virginia, and I do a lot of land development projects there. When I was invited to join this team, I was told, okay, Lake Crystal's, downstream of this, and there's a lot of concern about the water quality and degradation of it. And I was like, well, okay, what are we going to do? We're going to do what we do in Chesterfield to the Upper Swift Creek Reservoir. It's a 1,700 acre reservoir, 62,000 acre drainage area that we're doing development on right adjacent to it. We're not 3 miles away like this project is from Lake Crystal, but we're right on the water, right adjacent to the water. And so what we've done, these are really what I call tried and true methods. They've been in place for many years. And what we've done is offer proffers. We're going to put in super silt fence adjacent to any aquatic feature, within 50 feet of disturbance of any aquatic feature. That's wetlands, streams, perennial stream buffers. We're going to have that wire back silt fence that just doesn't get mowed down when it rains. We're going to oversize all our sediment traps and sediment basins by 25%. provide additional assurance that we're going to be keeping the sediment on site as best we can. And then also we're going to introduce anionic PAM, which is this polymer treatment that we put on the soils to prevent detachment and any erosion from leaving the site. Really three strong things that we've proven that works in Chesterfield, is that's what we're proposing to do here. So that being said, we have to answer any questions about erosion and sediment control or any concerns you may have.
And Chad and I can also answer any questions. If anybody wants to ask any questions about the site plan, which we handed out, or just anything else generally.
Does anybody on council have anything?
So the sites you're talking about, are they within the town limits?
No.
They're
No.
outside.
It seemed to be a lot of concern about the water, and they were concerned about that.
Even the land.
Well, yeah, but we're not gonna, I mean, there's not gonna be any projects in the town.
Doesn't matter. It's
Well, I
in the
know.
county.
I know. So we have public comments right after, but I would say if you want to talk to them, I'm sure they'll meet with you, don't you think, like outside or somewhere to discuss? I was asking you, yeah, yeah, I'm looking.
Sure. I mean, I've got nothing for the for them. I know that there's been some discussion or some I don't know who's been spreading information that this project is bad for the for the town's water. I haven't seen any data to suggest that it is
No.
bad for. And I know that Supervisor Norton had received an anonymous letter saying something about betraying the town of Crewe and bad for the water, and that
Yeah.
none of that is coming from the town. The town has taken
No.
no position to date on this project. Our only concern has been just ensuring that there are safeguards in place for the water, and it sounds like there are. So we have no to date, council has had no objections.
No, it did not come from us. I was present at a town hall, and lots of people were asking about it and were concerned about it. So this is a good way. If you're informed, then it's a good thing.
Yeah, well, thanks for having us.
All righty, thank you so much.
Thank you.
Okay, so let's open up the floor for public comments. Is there anyone who wishes to speak from the audience? Is there, is everyone trying to decide who to go first?
I know it's been a while since I've been here, but, the last question that was going on about asking this gentleman after the meeting's over on the outside, if they have any questions, why can't we ask these questions?
Oh, well, you can. I opened it up for that. I just thought,
I know it's a good thing that they're doing, but, economic-wise, are we going to employ some of the town people or county people? Can we benefit in that way as well, as far as bringing some employment and some money back into the town, to the county?
That would be a question for the for the group. How are you guys? Should this project go through, how would employment look? Are you looking to hire internally? Do you have your own team?
Yeah, definitely our preference is to hire locally, and that includes construction crews, suppliers for construction materials, and also ongoing landscaping that will needs to be done as far as like mowing and just taking care of because as per the county's ordinance, we have to plant a lot of trees so that we screen, so that people will not be able to see the panels. So lots of people who are taking care of the trees and other vegetation will be employed as well.
thank you, sir. Is there anyone else?
Is there an idea how long the lifespan of the panels are going to be?
Can you come up? so everybody can hear you in the world of Crewe.
And if you can also state your name
Is
and
there a lifespan of the panels? How long do they, if they're up so long, how long will it be operational? I'm hearing 15 years since putting the lamp up solar panels, and then it's the ground leaching and everything else that they've heard about and read about.
Yeah, can I answer?
Sure, yeah, yeah, he's,
So for the panels that we're using for modern panels, the lifespan's about 30 to 40 years. And there have been a lot of concerns that we've heard about for older panels that have a material called cadmium in them. But the modern ones that we're using do not have cadmium in them. And that's where you hear a lot of the leaching and those concerns. But there's also, I know that a lot of people are also concerned about what happens to the panels after their lifespan. Not only is technology getting better to recycle them, but we also have a recycling center in Richmond that can take these panels and responsibly recycle them.
do you have a list of
Okay.
the metals that are in these panels?
Yeah, we have a breakdown, like a reference guide that I can use.
Perfect, that'd be great, thank you.
is there anyone else? Okay. I'm glad I could see your little cap bobbing back there.
Hey, y'all. Hey, Brad. Good to see y'all. Believe it or not, I have never heard anything about solar. It's the first time I'm hearing anything about it. We'll skip over that tonight. I'm gonna talk about something a little different if I could. So, Saturday, I managed to get over to the Chicken Festival probably around 6 o'clock. You know, I know y'all had gotten started and everything. But I just want to share my experience, if that's okay, because when I first arrived, there's this big sign there. You ain't got to worry about nobody speeding through there. The police was set up nice, cars, caution and everything. So really nice. So I turned in and seen an old friend of mine that I went to school with, Corky, and he was there. I mean, just wonderful, pulling in, nice conversation and everything. The police were there. Got parked, no problems. Everything was just absolutely wonderful, right? Then I come to the entry point, and guess what? As she said, wonderful, wonderful. Couldn't have been more accommodating. Make sure, hey, do you have this? Do you have this? Do you have this? You need anything? Have fun. It was wonderful. And the whole time you could hear the music in the background. It wasn't overpowering. It was nice. And of course, the band's good. I mean, they've only been good for 40, 50 years. And the food was phenomenal. Earlier that day, I happened to go there when they were cooking. They were hustling. I ain't never seen so much chicken being cooked at one time in my life, but they did a phenomenal job. But in spite of the slight hiccup that happened down there, everything kept rolling. Everything kept rolling. Everybody was fun. The beverages was flowing appropriately. Nobody was acting a fool. Everybody seemed to be enjoying it. And I just want to say thank y'all. Tip of my hat to y'all. I mean, it was a wonderful event. Thank y'all for stepping up doing that. This county and the surrounding areas definitely needed that. And if there's anything I can do, personal, professional, goofy, or otherwise, just let me know. Anything we can do to help y'all. But the staff was phenomenal. Chief Morgan, they had a wonderful job. I mean, it was not a tense environment at all. It was just wonderful, wonderful event. And I want to thank y'all for that. And plenty more to come, I hope. All right.
Thank you
y'all.
for coming.
Thank you, John.
Trial and error.
All right. Is there anyone else that would like to speak? Mike? Oh. Hi.
For those that don't know me, Mike Montecalvo, who cares? First off, I'd like to apologize to the county. We're one. You did say we're live.
Yes.
Yeah. I would like to apologize to the county and everything about the pancake dinner being canceled last month. And that's what I want to talk about. Because I did sit outside of this facility just in case anybody showed up that we could not reach out to. And people
Yeah.
did stop by. had a couple, I believe they were from Rice, that were here for the first time. And I want to send out an apology to them. We're gonna try not to have that happen again.
Yeah, I hope not.
But my concern is, this body voted on it last year to have it every fourth Thursday of the month. There was a flyer made up by the town, I believe, that it says every fourth Thursday. And I received a text from a county official back in January saying that we were gonna be put on the calendar, scheduled every fourth Thursday. Now, we understand that things happen and you have to be adjust. And Crew Cares is very flexible and willing to work with you guys any way we can. But I wasn't notified until the Monday before the dinner. And I got a text. And the text read, "Good morning, there's a conflict with this month's pancake supper." And it states the other organization, they have their annual dinner scheduled for Thursday at Community Center. Let us know if you want to reschedule or cancel. And it just so happened that day I was bush hogging on my property. So I didn't get the text until about 4 o'clock. So at 4:07, I responded, "Hey, we've already advertised. We've had it reserved for each month. Can the other organization reschedule?" And then about a minute later, I sent another text saying, "You're gonna have people showing up for pancake supper on Thursday." If we hold a pancake supper, we start advertising maybe 3 or 4 days after that supper was held for the following month. We incur costs to do that, to hold this supper and everything. And it's growing. And we're getting a lot of positive feedback from it. So the community is enjoying this event that we're putting on. So Tuesday I go into the town to talk about what went on. And I was told it's just the way it is. Nobody apologized. It's just the way it is. We've got to reschedule or cancel. You know. You guys do one heck of a job at Town Hall. And y'all deserve to be treated with professionalism and respect. But so does the general public. You know, when people make these decisions, I would ask you guys to think about everybody involved in the decision that you're making, because it affected a lot of people in a lot of different ways. You know, and I'm not here to bash it. I'm here to try to come up with a solution that this doesn't happen again. I just want everybody to be aware. Crew Cares is very small, but we do a lot for the people around here. And by that decision being made, a lot of people were affected by it. You know, and not just for the pancake dinner. It's like a snowball effect, you know, when it happens. And I'm not here because of the monetary that Crew Cares spent, because we're on a very shoestring budget. And it's not about that. It's more about the community and the impact that it had on the community. You guys kind of put an unrealistic burden on Crew Cares to try and change an event in 2 days. That's almost an impossible thing to do. I mean, to my understanding, the other organization put their reservation in March, and that's when it was double booked. And if that was the case, why was it not not until the Monday before the event that we were notified about it. And in the past, Crew Cares has had to adjust and not do it on the fourth Thursday. But we gave a 30, 60-day notice to try and figure all this stuff out. You know, all I'm asking is
Excuse me.
consider everybody involved. You know, and in my opinion, professionally wise, the other organization was having their event catered. And the 2-3 dozen people that they had at their event, it was a RSVP event. They had ways of contacting each person to let them know if they had to change the venue. There's no way Who Cares has any contact information on who's gonna come to our events, you know? So I would ask, moving forward, what is a reasonable amount of time for Crew Cares to say, hey, we can't do it on this date, we gotta change it, or vice versa? What is a reasonable amount of time to notify Crew Cares, hey, there's a little bit of conflict in scheduling, can we move it, can we change it, what do we need to do? Because like I said, once one of those dinners is over, we're working on the next one. You know, and I forgot to mention at the very beginning, we are having a pancake dinner this Thursday. We are on the calendar scheduled to have a pancake dinner this Thursday, the 23rd. We're also on the calendar, made sure this time, because somebody said, well, Mike, you gotta go every month and make sure that you're on the calendar. Well, I'm sorry, I thought by the agreement that we had, I thought it was we were there already. And we're also having one on the 20th of November, which is not the fourth Thursday, but due to the holidays, we're changing it. We are not gonna have one in December due to other events going on here that's already scheduled and the holidays. So there's a lot going on. But moving forward next year, you know, I'd like to see this not happen again for the community. Well, for Crew Cares, but also for the community. And like I said, it impacted a lot of people in a lot of different ways that y'all might not even realize. You know, and one other issue I would like to bring up is the Chicken Festival. Tiffany, you, Kissy, TJ, everybody that worked it, they worked their tushes off. I applaud you guys. Where I was at, there was a youth group working the food, and I can't think of the name of the youth group, but they did a fantastic job. I tried to tell each one of them and thank each one of them for it, because they were phenomenal. You know, like John mentioned, the police, the traffic, the security. It was a very nice event. But I would suggest if anybody runs into anybody that, Tiffany or any of those, give them an attaboy, attagirl, whatever. But they did an excellent job.
They did.
Thank you. And please take into consideration what I just said. I appreciate it. Thank you for your time.
Thank you, Mike.
Thank you. Does anyone else have anything? I think we've heard from almost everybody in the audience. All right, let's move on. Review of bills. Does council have any comments, questions, or concerns about the bill sheets? Is that a no? Okay. Town manager's report.
Okay, thank you. Just going through the report real quick. Let's see, we've received just under $300,000 from the Tobacco Commission this last month for our downtown project, which we'll be talking about a little bit more in closed session. USDA revolving loan fund, you'll recall that we applied for that back in February, I believe. We finally got word from that. We did receive that $100,000 that we applied for that. So the EDA can now be has that seed funding for loans to small businesses. We've also applied for the VFHY HCAT grant. I know a few individuals in here are part of that group. There's no match requirement for that. We did find out that we did not receive the Department of Historic Resources Black Indigenous Peoples of Color grant for that massive project that we were looking at. But that's okay. We can try again next year because I believe it's funded again next year. So mostly good news from that perspective. Just a lot going on in town. Chicken Festival was 2 days ago, which we're still recovering from. Thank you to all the staff, Kissy and Tiffany and Norma, TJ and Matt, and the chief and all of their staff. It was a team effort, and it was a great event. I think we'll be putting together a small committee for the future in order for some of the planning. We wanted to get it all started but now we're going to pass it off to committee and hopefully eventually let Downtown Crewe take over once we get them 501c3 status, and really start planning earlier and doing some of these things and letting it be run by committee rather than town staff. So it takes some of the pressure off that. So that committee will be we'll be getting people together in the next week or so. First to do a after action review, see what went right, where we have some areas for improvement, and then start planning for the future. We're still gathering the final numbers to see what all of that entails. The other thing, we realized over the last couple of weeks that the electric infrastructure at the airport needs to be upgraded. So Jay will be reaching out to Department of Aviation and Talbot and Bright, who is our airport consultant, in order to find out best way to pay for that, and then look at everything that needs to be done, and we'll be going from there, because that 40-year-old infrastructure wasn't necessarily built for some of the things that we're trying to use it for now. So we'll be looking at that in the near future. That is about it. Any questions? The newsletter went out a couple weeks ago. Mm-hmm. Taxes should be in within the next 2 weeks. 2 days, and they'll be going out hopefully by the end of the week.
That's good.
There was a delay with the company that we work with, but hopefully those will go out, because it's funny how people come to the office and say, I want to pay my taxes. Okay, wow, I try to hold on to my money as long as possible, but hey, good for you. So we will be sending those out shortly. Any questions? Okay.
No? Good deal. All righty. Mayor's report. I just had one thing. Well, two things. So the Taste of Crewe was really good, I thought. We had our last little event on October 10th. We will be resuming on March 27th, because we talked about it and we were trying to find a time when it wasn't going to get dark before 8 o'clock. That was the latest, I think, that we could do that. But I kind of put it out there asking people, do they want it once or twice? People are asking for it twice a month. So I don't know. No choice has been made, but they're asking for it twice a month. I've already booked the trucks for March, because unbelievably, you're asking people and they're going, I'm already booked. They're already booked like in August of next year. So we already have our trucks for March the 27th. And a big thank you to everyone that's come out and supported it. I think the first event and the last event were the biggest we had.
Was it?
Yes, it was a lot. And also, our trunk or treat in the park is from 6 to 8? Isn't that what you said?
It's in the newsletter.
Yeah.
I don't know off the top of my head.
Do we have to sign up or just show up?
Just show up. I believe setting up, again, it's in the thing. I think it's
4:30, you said. Yeah. I just wondered about the sign up part.
Nope, don't have have to sign up. Just show up, set up, and give out candy, or just show up at 6-ish and come trick or treating.
So
Okay.
you just pick a spot?
Yeah, absolutely.
Okay.
Just anywhere?
Last year, everyone was sort of gathered around the parking lot area.
Yeah, okay.
Okay.
Which may be the best, because we'll also get one of our lights out there to
Okay.
set up.
And I did have I told you, I had a call from Archer's Barbecue, and they wanted to come and be in the park so people could buy food if they wanted it,
Sounds good.
for hungry parents and children alike.
That'll work.
So they're going to be there. So that's all I have. And we have no town attorney tonight. So let's move on.
one, he's just
Well,
not
we
here.
have one. He's just not here tonight. We do have a town attorney. Let's move on to committee reports. Finance Committee, Councilman Davis is absent. Personnel Committee, Vice Mayor Stinson.
Well, once again, it's been said this evening, but the town staff did a great job with the Chicken Festival, and it is much appreciated. I think everybody had a good time, things went smoothly, and they worked really, really hard.
Okay. All righty, Community Development Committee. Not much. People have begun to sign up for the parade, and that seems to be ongoing every day. If anyone can think of anyone that maybe we haven't reached out to, I'm always looking for new people to add in the parade. So if you know of anyone.
Burkeville had a military academy come a couple
I
years
reached
back.
out, yeah. I reached out to them last year, and then right before the parade, like 10 of them got sick. But I reached out to them again, so I'm hoping that this time it will not be that case. And we've already got 3 or 4 bands, so that's good too. Anyone that wants to lend a hand can. I'm not going to twist your arm, but we'll all come together and it'll be done. Infrastructure Committee, Councilman Stith.
Second Street extension. To the right, when you go around that child curve right there, it's about a 4-foot drop off into the ditch. No markings, no nothing to indicate that when you come down that street to keep you out of that ditch down there.
Is that by the Woodman's Hall?
Right in front of the Woodman's Hall.
TJ's house?
Talk about when you go from
Round the
pavement.
curve,
Yeah.
to the right there. That thing is about 4.5 feet wide by 2 or 3 feet deep.
If you do a speed limit, you shouldn't have a problem.
If a deer come by there and hit you, you try to duck him, where you going? You know, but it is an area of concern. Like Tiffany said, you do the speed limit, but ain't nobody gonna creep around there. These 25-mile-per-hour signs in this town don't mean nothing to somebody.
No,
Beside my house, that's for sure.
truly
You
not.
know, so you could put a 5-mile-per-hour sign down there. You can't control that.
Keep straight instead of turning right.
Okay, and what would the solution to that be?
Reflectors or something, maybe?
Fill it up, if it's a ditch or something like that, put a grate over top of it.
I'll ask TJ to look at that. It's like at his house, right? That's give or take. Just about.
Yeah, it ain't that far from his house.
Okay.
But it's a
I'll have him
twisted turn down
take a
there.
look at that.
But don't let nobody get hurt in that ditch down there.
Okay, anything else?
Economic Development Committee, but I was waiting for you to write your note.
No, I mean anything else from infrastructure?
No, that's all that I had as for right now. I'll be back on the prowl in another week. I had something for the next meeting.
Okay, that'll work.
All right.
Economic development?
Yeah,
I said nothing from
nothing. How about Planning Commission?
Planning Commission will likely meet in the next month. We'll have for a public hearing on some stuff that we'll discuss soon. The Planning Commission also met just to look at the some of the ongoing projects and to get everyone up to date, because it's been a little while since they've met.
Okay. Water Committee, Councilman Davis is not here, so
No,
let's,
and on water, we're again still working with the Hurt Profit on the water line replacement with that $4.5 million grant that we have. Jay and TJ and I met with them and looked at the initial phase for basically they're building out a PER for and phasing out all the water line replacement. Looking at the initial one, it's all the 4-inch and less lines that we have and upgrading those and. Yep, just going from there. And then on the other end of the water system, the state's engineers are they have in the manager's report the new water line that's all planned out. They're working with I believe it's going to the Attorney General's office for the easements, and then they'll be making offers. And we have a sketch of the new water treatment plant as well. So everything's moving along. Very excited.
So the size of this line is 4 inches now.
I'm sorry?
The size of the water line that's coming up through is 4 inches now.
So there are various sizes within town limits. The line coming from the water treatment plant to town limits is a 12-inch line. Mm-hmm. And that will stay a 12-inch line. It's just going to be moved off the railroad right-of-way. And we're going to have a new line. So that's one project that the state's heading up. The other project that we're heading up with other state money, that VDH grant, that's to begin to replace all of the water lines in town limits. They range from 12 inches all the way down to under 2 inches. VDH doesn't allow things that are under 4-inch anymore. So our first phase is to replace everything that's 4-inch and smaller. And hopefully that $4.5 million will cover that, cover those, and then maybe some additional. But we're waiting to see estimates, and then we'll have to put it out for RFP and see what the total cost is. So that's the first phase. In future phases, we'll be looking at other aspects. The other thing added into that first phase, in addition to the 4-inch or less lines, are the 2 blocks on Carolina from Tyler to Powell. Just because we're going to be doing some streetscape improvements, and we don't want to have to dig up streetscape improvements in a year or two after we've just made them. So we're going to get those lines out of the way first as well.
So that's the only place got the 2-inch lines in Crewe?
No, there are on Carolina. It's currently an 8-inch line, but it's a 100-year-old 8-inch line that needs to be replaced.
So then this guy just finished saying with these hydrants, you need at least a 4-inch line.
a 6-inch.
A 6-inch line if it ends at a fire hydrant.
So what are these fire
For example,
hydrants?
there's it may be, we need to check it, but if we were to put a fire hydrant at the end of Indian Oak, where the line ends, that would have to be upgraded from, I think it's a 2 or 4-inch line now. That would have to be upgraded to a 6-inch. And Herb Profit and I and Jay and TJ all talked about it and looked at some of the where we're going to be looping and where we're going to be upgrading from. Some are 4-inch, some are 6-inch. That'll be upgraded to 8-inch. It's a balance between upgrading and maintaining water pressure. If we, my thought was, why don't we just upgrade everything to 8-inch lines?
Yeah, that's sound
but the problem with that is if you don't need that much water, you shouldn't. So it's it doesn't help with the pressure, I guess. So it's a balancing act, and that's why we have engineers to figure all that out.
I just wanted to know whether these places where these 2-inch lines that they got these fire hydrants, are they gonna get water fed by at least a 4-inch line?
So I don't know if there are any hydrants on a 2-inch line, but basically we're looking at it all. Yep.
Okay.
Everything's going to be upgraded and starting with the smallest lines.
Okay. Sounds good.
Yep.
Okay. So let's move on to new business. A is Historic Preservation Overlay District.
Okay. Council, remember that we have talked about a historic preservation overlay district. What is that? It's a zoning layer placed on top of the existing base zoning. Base uses and densities stay the same. The overlay adds extra review or standards for specific public purposes. The purpose here is to preserve historic character, support tourism and investment, maintain property values by avoiding unnecessary loss of significant buildings. Basically, we'd be taking our historic commercial district and putting this overlay on top of it so that there are more restrictions for what can and can't be done within that. One thing that we'd be, so what it does, creates the boundary, which reflects the commercial historic district, keeps base zoning in place, requires a certificate of appropriateness for demolition, raising, or relocation of landmark and contributing structures. So basically, can't demolish or something without getting that certificate of appropriateness. Different administrative approval for that. Of course, there's a public safety exemption. Establishes an architectural review board to hear cases, adopt rules, hold open meetings, issue written decisions, things like that. So this board that council would be appointing sort of helps to oversee the standards in the historic district. Sets the standards in terms of historic architectural significance, condition, feasibility, preservation, proposed reuse, district impact, and reasonable alternatives, and creates an appeals process. So the ARB would decisions would be appealable to council, and then final town action per code would be appealable to the circuit court. So process review, basically an individual would, as a property owner would submit a pre-application, work with staff, then an application with statement of work, schedule, photos, images. So basically everything that's in a regular zoning application. The ARB would have a public meeting, approves with conditions or disapproves. Basically, I'm not going to go through that whole process with you, but it's there if you have any questions about how individuals would apply for that. Basically, the next steps is just get a general consensus from council. We'll then be sending out notice to the impacted property owners, and I believe we have to also send it out to property owners adjacent to the district. Planning Commission would have a public hearing after 2 newspaper ads. Council would then have a public hearing after 2 newspaper ads, and we would establish this district.
So my question is, if the district were established and there were standards, what about existing businesses within the district that maybe don't live up to the standards that might be established? Would they be grandfathered in?
Right, so they would be considered, there's a phrase that I always forget what the phrase, but basically grandfathered in.
Okay.
Yep. And until such a time when they leave and no longer.
And somebody new.
Right,
would
exactly.
come. Okay.
Legal non-conforming use is the phrase.
Yes, I've heard that before. Okay, thank you. That was my question.
Other questions? Any concerns about this? So basically the idea is we're doing all this renovation and revitalization of downtown, and we want it to look good, and we've applied for the CHCD funding for facade grants, and it's just another tool to help control our downtown and have that extra layer of uniformity and keeping everything historic and nice. Okay, excellent. So general consensus is to move forward?
Yes.
Perfect.
Your screen was flying by. Okay, so we need a motion on this one?
Nope, just got the general consensus.
Okay. So moving on to a C1 Grace program.
Right, so item 11B, council remember that last year we changed the zoning to allow for mixed-use development in commercial districts. So if you live in an upper or sub-street level, which I don't think there are any sub-street level, I think First Citizens has a basement, but no one would want to live there.
I'm certain.
Then you're allowed to do that in commercial districts, but we also allowed for conditional use for street level. So if you have, say, an apartment behind your store, you can apply for a conditional use. And as we're starting to, or as we're looking to start to enforce some of this, because there are, I believe there are some who actually live on the street level now, who do not have, because no one has applied for conditional use yet. We wanted to give everyone an opportunity to come into compliance and to do so at no cost, and just make everything good until for the duration of this program, and then after this program, we'll start to actively enforce the ordinance. So basically, what we're looking at is any ground floor residential use in a commercial district that is not currently in compliance is what we're looking at. We'd basically be sending out letters to all of the property owners in commercial districts and saying that this is what we're doing. This is what the current zoning ordinance says. Generally, to apply for conditional use, it's, I believe, a $300 fee. We would waive that for this grace period. You said in your application, the Planning Commission will meet, make a recommendation. Council will meet and make a recommendation. After adequate public hearings and such, and make a decision, and you wouldn't have to pay that, and you can come into a compliance. And then after that, like I said, we'd actively enforce. So processes, staff would, again, you can read all that. I'm not going to read everything to you guys. Any questions on this? So basically, you have a copy of the draft letter. It would be between now and December 31st, so the end of the year. Individuals can apply. Early next year, we'll go over Planning Commission. We'll go over everything, and then establish or set public hearings. Set a public hearing for. They'll set a public hearing, make a recommendation to council. Council will have its public hearing and either accept or reject the recommendation of the Planning Commission. And like I said, then we start enforcing. It's a pretty simple application, which you have on in your packet as well. It's 1.5 pages long. So yeah, any questions? Okay, I'm trying to remember what I asked for in this. I don't think I asked for any. Okay, so just wanted to give everyone that update.
Yep. All right, moving on to 11C, Employee Thanksgiving.
Okay. Last year we hosted a Thanksgiving luncheon for our town employees.
You hosted it.
It was day and a half of cooking.
And it was delicious.
Oh, it was good.
It sure was.
This year we might just have leftover chicken from and what do we have? 150 pounds of coleslaw. If anyone knows anyone who needs coleslaw, let us know.
Can you freeze coleslaw? I don't think so.
I doubt it. But we'd like to open it up a little bit more to council and give council the opportunity to thank our staff and show their appreciation. So the idea is for council members to pick a dish or two to cook and cook or buy, and then to serve staff. We're looking at Thursday, November 20th, so a week before Thanksgiving. And I meant to bring a sign-up sheet because I had a nice one made up.
You did, it's in here.
Oh, it's in there too. Okay, perfect. So if anyone knows what they would want to bring, just let me know. So we'll just get council consensus, pass around the sign-up sheet. You can just text me what you'd like to bring, and then everyone can get together, determine time to set up, and then we'll set up, serve, and enjoy.
Do you have a estimate on how many people it is, just so people know how much?
We have about 30 employees, give or take.
Yeah, okay.
Not all will be
Including
able to
us,
make
though,
it.
right?
Some law enforcement officers will be off because they, work different shifts
Yeah.
and may not come in. Water and wastewater usually take plates to go, but plan for about 25 to 30. In addition to council members.
Not going to add their spouses in?
I'm sorry?
You're not going to add their spouses in?
No.
Add
They
the
can't come
asbestos?
eat?
Oh, spouses. No spouses.
Oh, they can't come eat?
No.
I mean, it's middle of the day. It's
It's town stuff
right
in the
and,
middle of the day.
They staff come in and eat and enjoy, and then go back to work.
Go back to work?
Correct.
Oh, man.
Yeah.
So we just sign up with you?
Yep. Just send me what you like. We could get a group text going. Just don't discuss any town business in that group text. I don't think that telling me that you'll bring ham is really town business.
Well, do you want me to send this text I just wrote to you or not?
Absolutely, please. Yep. And then and I'll perfect. So Ann is bringing
What is Ann bringing?
ham and table decorations. Thank you, Ann.
Okay.
Okay. Any questions? Are we all good with that plan? And if you can make it, great. If not, we can certainly take any contributions you want to provide or not. Okay. Excellent.
I was going to send you a text, but now I got to do my job. All righty. So now we're moving on to unfinished business. 12A, trash can plan.
Okay. Prior to the current budget adoption, I presented a proposal for revamping our sanitation ordinances and processes. Because we were looking at those increases in water and sewer rates, council opted to wait until a future time to implement because, again, this would the idea was to add $2 to the sanitation fee. But council at the last meeting requested that we revisit this issue again, so we did. Policy considerations for transition to, so basically what we're looking at, overview of proposed changes. This would change from the current 3 30-gallon containers to a 1 95-gallon container with an attached lid.
With the wheels on it, right?
With the wheels, correct. It would eliminate the extra container for $5. That's in the ordinance, and maintains extra pickup for $25. Containers are owned by the town and initially provided by the town. Replacements are the responsibility of the property owner and must be purchased from the town. Timing of set out and removal would be no later than 4 p.m. on the day before scheduled collections and must be removed by 8 p.m. on the day of collection. So a lot of what this does is it also changes some of the ordinance to make it more or less gray area and more, this is more black and white. Storage, when not out for collection, containers must be stored at the site or rear of the property and not visible from the public right-of-way. It adds penalties for violations, which we talked about last time, because before it was sort of or currently it's written that if it's not out how it should be, you wouldn't be picked up, and then if you have trash lying out, you could be fined. This is more of a direct, it's not the way it should be. It's a warning for the first violation, followed by a $50 fine for a second violation, and then additional violations would be $100 fines. It also adds a process for ADA and elderly accommodations, which is basically if you need those accommodations, you would basically sign up and we can look at providing those. We had looked at several, when I was originally doing this, looked at several, I actually put out a request with the Virginia Institute of Government, who has this listserv, saw what some other localities are doing. Eric also looked into some nearby localities, see what they were doing in terms of ordinances. This was crafted based on all of their best practices. So looking at cost, the carts, which are the trash cans, are $59 per unit. We'd be buying 1,050 units. We have about 1,031 current customers. And that 50 is, we need to balance storage capacity with, just having a few extra on hand for when new people move in and things like that. So that's almost $62,000 there. Hot stamp and serial numbers are another $850. There's a VSA fee, which I'm not quite sure what that stands for, but that's another $471 from the company, for a total of $63,271 for the cans. Then we also have to add in the truck improvements, which is about $26,000 for a grand total of $89,280.17. Given our 1,031 customers, cost for customers about $86. A $2 increase to the bill gives us about $24,000 a year, which means pay off in about three and a half years, and then we can start to accumulate additional for a can refresh every 5 to 7 years or so, and just having that extra money to put towards refreshing cans, more towards the trucks, things like that. Questions?
I love these church cans.
Is there?
Where are,
Go ahead.
I'm sorry.
Nope, go ahead.
No, go ahead.
Where are they supposed to be picked up at? If they're gonna be stored in the back, are they being picked up in the alleys as well?
It would probably be picked up in the front, but that will have to be. We'll have to establish that on a road by road basis.
Okay.
And work with Public Works on creating potentially the new route, and all
Because
that.
the reason I'm asking too, just for clarity, my neighbor and my backyard is fenced in. There is no way to get to the front.
Okay. Again, we'll take each one of those on a case by case basis. I believe it says. Let me just read through this for storage. When not out for collection, containers must be stored on the side or rear of the property and not visible from the public right of way. Does that sound like something that could be?
Oh yeah, that's where my trash is now.
Oh, okay.
It's not ever stored in the front because I live on Rockcastle, so
Okay.
there's only one person on Rockcastle that I think has to put their trash containers on the front because something about that alleyway on the opposite side. I think it runs in between Airport Road and
Yeah, it's between Indian Oak and,
it's only a short period that trash trucks go down and then it runs out long before where Kay Fuller lived.
one of my rental properties has to put it on, well,
Okay.
yeah, because they don't go back there anymore.
Okay. Okay. You had a question?
Yes, opting out is not an option. I mean, I have like half a bag a week. It seems
You and me both.
like
But,
a little
but-
much.
Right. Well, it's technically, this would be reducing the maximum from 30 times 3. Well, actually, it would be increasing the maximum. Or is it 30 or 35 currently? I think it's reducing it by, 10 gallons or so. So it's but it makes it that much easier and that much cleaner. The answer is no. Opting out is not an option.
What is I guess what I would like to see was if we had fines for our current people who don't do what they're supposed to. There's a part of me that resents paying more and spending all this more money because there are people who will not follow the rules. And we're saying with this, if they don't follow the rules, we would fine them. Well, why aren't we fining the people now?
Can't we change the ordinance, I
Well,
think?
change the
Yeah,
ordinance. Instead
yeah.
of spending all that money, change the ordinance to impose fines on people that are violators. Because as long as you don't, and then my next question is, what happens if they don't pay the fine?
Can't you attach it to their bill, or no?
I don't know if we can.
Well, I wondered that, but I bet you can't. I don't know.
I'd have to talk to Eric to see
don't know
how that would work, because it's all attached to the utility bill, and generally if utility bills aren't paid, your water gets shut off, but I
Yeah.
don't know if we can do that if the sanitation portion is not. I mean, that's generally how
Yeah.
collections are
Well, that's
enforced.
where I was going with that. I was trying to think of, could the sanitation
Yeah.
work the same way as the...
So a lot of what this does is it also clarifies and streamlines the ordinances, because right now what council discussed last time was that there's a lot of room for discretion, and there's a lot of some people getting lids not on cans and one extra bag here versus a dozen extra bags there. This just makes it all. Everything has to be in the one container, lid closed, and the lid's attached to it, and it's just a lot cleaner. If we were to keep it as is, but just add the fees or add the penalties, we would it would be a lot on town staff to determine what is and isn't a violation, and how much
Where's the lid?
is this extra bag laying on the side worth $100 fine? And
I guess I just don't understand that. If you say 3 cans with lids, why would they think they could put something on the side? If you have, I think you're going to run into some of the same issues and spend a lot of money on the other. That's just my opinion. I'm just one person with one vote.
Like Jackie, I have a bag a week.
Well, me too. I mean,
other questions, thoughts, comments, concerns? Okay, we don't need to vote on this today. I'll give everyone an opportunity to digest, and we can look at it at the next meeting. Other concerns? Well, which way is council leaning?
Well, when will we be able to get these painted?
Well, Anne done made it more difficult, is what she done.
thank you.
You will.
That's why you invited me.
So I'd have to look at the timing. I imagine within a month or two we'd be able to get it and start implementing. It's then a matter of distributing, and we'd have to look at the
Oh, I have
staff's
another question.
capacity.
Oh, no.
Someone in here is
So I have to take up the slack for it. When we were talking about the cans and getting extras because new people might move in. So if a house sells, does the town go and collect that can? I mean, if people move out, do they collect that can and bring it back when there are?
Generally would just stay with the house.
Good luck with that, because if the house is empty,
Oh, really? That's okay.
Yeah.
I don't know, the one house I sold, I can't remember if I took my trash cans 2 doors down or not. But that's,
Well,
think I
these
left at
will
least
be
one.
town property is what
Right,
I'm
right.
getting at, so.
So each one will have a number, and that number will be associated with that building. So that's a good question. What is the process for that? Let me look into what other localities do. So, for example, in even more than
Because
someone
I
has
have
a-
had, just say, I have had renters move out
Yeah.
and take the
Take your
cans with them
cans.
that
Yeah.
I provided.
right, and
So I'm not
You would all let rent money, you could buy more.
well, you know, it wasn't a big deal, but I'm thinking
Oh,
about
Lord.
these being town property and somebody move away.
Well,
and-
not with, I mean, we lived in Williamsburg, which is not comparison, but when we moved, we had to call them and tell them to come get our cans.
Oh, that makes sense to
Yeah.
me, yeah.
that's well, I'm just trying to
Like
think
when
in
we
a-
turned off our water bill
right
and all,
when
yeah.
when I rented in Blacksburg, it never occurred to me to steal the trash can that they but that's good.
They're gonna be nice.
Oh, Lord.
That's true. Good question. Let me look into
Okay.
that. See what other localities do. Other questions?
Are we moving on?
How's council feel about this? Because last month it was definitely 4. Now we're
She didn't say what she said last month either.
okay. Well, go ahead and digest it, and we'll talk about it at the next meeting.
I mean, I think the result is still the same either way. Whoever is leaving their garbage around, it needs to be maintained. Let's clean it up, make it look better. So-
Yeah, but they won't do it.
Well, will they do it with these new trash cans?
Well, we'll have I don't know.
Well, let's just think
Right
about
now,
it
they're
some
saying
more.
they don't have
Yeah.
tops, they don't have this, they don't have that. Well, if it's attached, you're gonna have a top.
Still in the trash can,
Yeah.
Well, and I know you're the one who brought it
Yeah.
the last time. What are
Well,
your
I
thoughts?
did. I mean, what are my thoughts?
Something needs
I
to be
did bring it.
finalized. We just can't keep
I
putting
do.
it
I
off,
mean,
off.
I know that it is a lot of money, but maybe it would put an issue to rest. Because I don't believe that the people that will not buy a top for their trash can are going to all of a sudden say, yes, I'll pay a fine and I'll go buy a top with my trash can. But I don't know. I don't want to speak for everybody. I'm in favor of it, but I don't have a vote, so.
I think you're killing one bird on this whole thing though. The tops are attached to the trash can, right?
Yeah.
If something happens and they get broke, the town has to replace the trash can, correct?
Correct.
So
Depends.
it depends on how it gets broke.
Right.
Okay,
Correct.
if they vandalize it, no, they pay for it. But just through normal wear and tear, the top just breaks, then they get replaced. Not about money, but what happens is they get another trash can with a lid on it, so we're still squashing the idea of not having lids on trash cans. That's one thing you can be killing no matter what. And
Correct.
hopefully with a lid on it like that, and big as it's gonna be, they won't be piling 16 bags on top of one trash can.
Right.
So I would say yes, but that's just me.
Okay.
How actively are fines going out, say in the last couple of years? How
I-
actively are fines going
We
out?
don't currently
don't have fines.
issue fines.
So you don't do anything if the trash is,
Correct. We don't have
We don't have an ordinance.
fines directly
There's no
related to
ordinance.
trash. It would have to be, we don't pick up your trash, and then you later get fined because you have trash lying out that wasn't picked up.
so the fine is, connected to the trash being laying out there? So
Currently, correct.
How much is someone fined for trash being laying?
We don't have an ordinance.
Well, we,
Well,
it's,
you just said that you do fine for trash being out there.
let me
Did you
look,
say that?
I think I have
We're not
the
enforcing
current
it.
ordinance in
Well, that's
here.
what I
Let me,
mean.
Because right now, the trash cans are bought by the people, and they won't go buy tops.
But what I'm saying is, if you
No,
can fine for
right.
trash being there, and you're not, then no one gets a penalty.
I don't have that in the, I don't have that section of the current ordinance in here because it's a section before the trash can.
So
But it
if-
basically is if you have, stuff lying out, you can
Right,
get
so
it.
scenario, if I have my trash can and then I have 2 bags that aren't in there and it never gets picked up and it's all tore up, you do have the potential to fine me for that.
Correct.
So that's what I'm asking. Is
But
that
all the-
Is that being done?
Not currently.
Okay, so that's the ordinance was never followed up on. So why would it, I think with working in school systems and with anybody, if you have a threat and you don't do it, what effect is a new threat? I'm saying, I don't really have a yes or no. I don't really have a preference. I'll do whatever it is. But if you allow it, the trash to stay there, and I do see it when I go walking, you know, trash everywhere, it blows out. But if I'm allowed to have it there and nothing ever happens, and
You
I know
gonna
it's
keep on
not
doing it.
related to the trash, we've let it go. That's an opportunity that we could address other things. Well, why'd you give me a fine? Because your trash is all over the place. And this is the procedure.
And then their argument is, well, I don't have a top on my can.
But that's fine. It has nothing to do with whether you have a can top or not. That has you allowing trash to be in your yard. You see what I'm saying? That has nothing to do whether your trash can has a top on it or not.
If they got,
You see it.
if you got fined for having the mess out there, you'd buy a top.
Exactly.
Or a new can.
That's what I'm saying. Your motivation would be, oh, let me buy a top so I won't get fined for having trash all over the back of my yard.
So let me
I mean,
ask
no.
this, how hard would it be to send notices out with the next water bill? Effectively, immediately, there's a $50 fine for not having trash and
Well, we
trash.
have to adjust our ordinance.
Right. Correct.
How hard would that be?
Or we,
Same thing you're looking at
or
here.
we enforce the ordinance that we have now. About
Did you say
trash
we
and
didn't
litter.
have an ordinance, or we do have an
It's-
ordinance?
It's a roundabout. Well, you can make an argument that
But it's not a matter-of-fact
Correct.
ordinance. Yeah,
It's not a clear cut order.
yeah. It's not a clear-cut ordinance.
My
to start with.
suggestion is everybody should read the ordinance
So
right.
and then.
Let's all read the ordinance
So
as
nobody knows what the ordinances say. Because, okay, and I'm
Not off the
fine
top
with
of
a
my
lot
head.
of stuff,
Kind of what
but
up.
I got my taxes from the, from the county, and I know $2 isn't a whole lot, but $2 is $2, going up and up and up. So, you know, like I said, I can afford it, I don't know if everybody else can afford it. I just wonder, if we're not looking into the ordinances now and making sure that they're enforced or making them enforced, whatever, what means that we're gonna do it.
well, like I said, if you compare,
Sure.
if you were to compare the current ordinance with the potential new ordinance, it not only makes these changes, it also clarifies some things, and it makes it easier to enforce.
Right.
Because the
So I
current
guess
ordinance
still-
it's overly complicated and leaves a lot of room for discretion.
Right, so what, and this is the last thing I'm gonna say about it. Why wasn't all of that cleared up?
In the ordinance,
previously? From the ordinances you're saying that are unclear, that you're like, oh, I'm not sure if I should do anything about it or what we can do. Why wasn't that ever cleared up before this got to be a big issue?
I don't understand the question. What are you saying? Why didn't council?
Yeah,
Why-
why
why
did it
didn't-
get to this point?
That you'll have to ask previous councils.
Okay, well, anyway, my concern would be mainly, if we're going to get new trash cans, we're gonna revamp the ordinance, we're gonna make them crystal clear, we enforce it.
Right.
That's the whole point of doing this, I think.
Yeah.
I understand, but I'm looking historically, that's why it's done. Anything that you can find a rule for that's crazy, it's because something was done that something shouldn't have been done. And, you know, anyway, I just think applying the ordinance, whatever it is, making it crystal clear has gotta be it. I don't know.
That's
Maybe
a- well,
said
it's
too
a-
much,
and-
don't make any
I
sense
think I
about it.
understand where you're going with this. Can we make an ordinance that holds the people accountable, the ones that are already doing what they're supposed to? Let's not penalize them by $2 on a trash bill. Let's try to get an ordinance in place that will be followed for those that aren't doing it, and then use this as a last resort for everybody.
Do we have someone to enforce it? To go around and look and
This
find?
one right here,
We'll give him a citation book.
I don't think you can issue fines. I don't know.
Well-
The ordinance will have to be enforced. Somebody's gotta do the.
Somebody's still got to.
Yes, so,
I mean, whether it's new, old, whatever.
Well, I think an important question is, can the fine be attached to the utility bill?
Let me ask
Yeah,
her
that
about
would be the, yeah. Because if not, they're not going to pay it.
Tiffany, you got any input on it?
I'm just town clerk.
You work in there, though, I'm just saying.
Right,
You
so,
send the bills, don't you?
again,
But
this-
my advice is, now that I opened the can of worms, but I really have been thinking about it a lot, and it's a lot of money. I mean, yeah, $2 a month, but when you think about it, over time, it's a lot of money. So let's all read the old ordinance and read what's proposed and just see.
Maybe readjust the ordinance.
So,
Because I think it's a lot more people that do what they're supposed to do than don't.
So again, the current ordinance and the current way we do things allows for too much discretion at the property owner level. Just reading from the ordinance, all garbage must be in a fly-tight covered container of not more than 35-gallon capacity. Ashes must be separated from the garbage and placed in separate containers, so that's another thing. There's also something in here, you're not allowed to have liquid in it. Up to 3 cans per single-family residence. They must be racked, chained, or staked to prevent being overturned. Things about alleys. No liquid, I already mentioned that. Any container weighing excess of 50 pounds will not be collected. So there's a lot. So what you have now is a hodgepodge of different things going on. You have some people who are, have these small corrals, and I, have a hard time getting my larger containers in the corral, with, lids that may or may not be on. You have some people who have things staked and they may or may not fall down. Some people who don't have that, and sometimes you have lids on, sometimes you have lids off. Sometimes you have extra bags out. Sometimes you have 1 bag. Sometimes you have 5 bags. Do you pick up the 1 bag because it's there, or because that's more along the common sense, or do you leave it because it's because you want to strictly enforce? There's a lot going on. This new change this new change would allow for one simple system with 1 simple can. And one way so it's out there only at this time, and then it's gone. And then we only pick up that 1 can. We don't pick up anything else outside of that 1 can. So it's a very easy way to enforce.
What
and
happens?
Like Councilman Payne said, the lid is attached, so you don't have that issue anymore either.
That's
I
the
get-
main
That's
argument,
not
Councilman
what
Sal.
I'm saying. What all you just said was nothing to pertaining to what I said. I said if the eyesore of the trash being everywhere is what we're trying to eliminate, right? I'm not talking about steaks and cans and 3 bags and 10 bags.
But that's part of it.
Okay, y'all not understanding what I'm saying. So that's okay. We better move on.
Let me just say the trash is there because people aren't following the ordinances.
yeah.
Because they're trash, they have no lid, and animals get in and it throws trash around, or people have that extra trash bag out and it's not picked up because that's an extra bag that's supposed to be in the can, so animals get into it, or the wind blows, or there's a dozen reasons.
I understand that you're saying if we don't enforce it now, why are we going to enforce it in the future?
Because it's easier to enforce in the future.
That is not what I originally started
No, I
saying, so we can
understand.
save it for another day.
The
Or
other,
not.
the other thing is, by supplying 1 trash can, everybody's on the same page. You don't have 15 trash cans behind the building, you got 1.
Correct.
Unless you have 2, or, I'm not going to ask, unless you got 2 stores. But the thing is, there's just 1 trash can out the back, it equals all 3 of the other trash cans. It's neater, it's cleaner. We say we want to clean up the town, we want to clean up the trash issue. To me, that's just the way.
Absolutely, and it also
We have-
eliminates those corrals, which are, I know mine is
And I know what
getting a
you're-
little
Robin, I
dingy.
know what you're saying. I get what you're saying.
I hope somebody just.
I got what you're saying.
Well, we do, but It's so many. They're not gonna anymore pay their fine than they're gonna buy a new trash can.
Well,
It's obvious.
we've discussed this.
Yes, we discussed this
For a
the
long
last
time.
meeting
We
to the
probably
end of the
just need
earth.
to bring it to a vote at next time and just be done.
So
I'm
everyone
at it
just,
too.
Just digest it and come to the next meeting ready to vote. And if the public wants to,
Councilwoman Wade
Put it
looked
in.
like she had something.
oh, yes.
This is kinda off, if we go with the big old trash cans, is the town gonna pick up the corrals?
That's a good question. We,
Can we have a bonfire somewhere? I'm just saying.
Are you gonna bring marshmallows?
I know we do
No.
have, generally we don't allow for construction material in our, twice annual, cleanup, but we may allow for that in, say, next spring.
Some of us
for
actually
just for
bought
corrals.
corrals from the town, so, well, and at one time, the town workers were nice enough to make really nice ones, and
Absolutely. So we can certainly, that's, it's a good question, but that's in addition to all the other decisions that have to be made on this. That's an easier thing to come up with Public Works.
Okay. What are we digesting for a moment?
Yep, that's a 12B, boundary line adjustment process. The town and county have preliminarily agreed on a boundary adjustment. You've all seen that. We have to get a plat, meets and bounds, or a GIS map. We'll have to send a written notice. Each body is going to advertise and hold a public hearing, and then go through the whole process. We've been through this process before. I just have the draft documents in there. Actually, they're not. They're the documents that we used for the last boundary line adjustment. Just got to fill all these out, get the stuff done, and then have the public hearings. Really nothing for council on that. Just wanted to give everyone an update. Basically, the county has said that they'll work with us on this, and my goal is to get it done by the end of the year, but it's apparently almost November already.
Yeah.
So, any questions on boundary line adjustment?
No,
Nothing? Okay.
I don't think so.
And then just in terms of informational items, just the events coming up, Pancake Supper this Thursday. I had the Chicken Festival as October 18th, but of course we moved the meeting a little bit. Fall Cleanup is this week. I don't believe they've been out to pick up anything yet. They have?
Yeah, they picked up some today.
Okay. Well, hopefully, if you were not on the route today and you still want to get your stuff out, then you can do so. If not,
you missed it.
You missed your opportunity. It's 7 a.m. Monday of that week is when everything needs to be put out.
Today.
We're having a park lighting on November 30th.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. So come out to that. That is a Saturday?
It's
Something like that.
I
Anyway,
think so, right after Thanksgiving.
right after Thanksgiving.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's
Ooh,
a
I
Saturday,
may
isn't it?
be missing that myself. Anyway, Christmas parade is December 4th. Council will need to figure out what council wants to do for that, for yourselves. And then still looking at the Wild Game Exotic Meat Chili Cook-Off. We're still digesting chicken right now, so we'll
Do they need coleslaw to go with it?
Unfortunately, the
It's
coleslaw does expire on November 3rd. So
Oh,
it's
shoot.
really good coleslaw. If anyone knows any businesses that need, we have 5 30-gallon containers at
Put them in the trash can.
Do you have a refrigerator? Uh-huh.
You could get all those.
Could we give them,
what we're trying to do first is to recover some of the costs
oh,
of it, even if it's only.
what are they, 5?
It was.
Say 5 gallons?
There are
30.
30 pounds.
150 pounds.
5 30-pound containers. And it's $3, we bought it for $3 per pound, so we can even look at a discounted cost. But anyway, just if anyone knows anyone, just reach out to me afterwards.
Okay.
I'm sorry?
Just eat it.
Yeah,
That's-
just eat it.
That's it from me. Yep.
Okay, so let's see, next are public comments again. Is there anyone who wishes to speak from the audience? Come up to the, microphone, please. Please, please.
Get back to this trash thing. You wanna go to one container for a pickup, okay? Does that include yard debris, yard clippings? Now, we had to bag this stuff up prior to the fall when the trucks come around to vacuums to pick up. Will that affect what's going in them containers? 'Cause my yard, I got 4 large pine trees.
Yeah.
All year long. I'm raking up pine tags. I used to put them out in the street. Now I'm told I need to bag them until fall, when they come around with the vacuum trucks.
Right, and I know, I believe that's separate because that gets picked up
But it's still
separately.
trash. It's still trash. It's gonna be in non-containers, stacked out on the street, behind my shed, everywhere else that I put stuff at.
I did ask that question, and Matt Hayer told me they anticipate doing that the same way they've done it all along.
So I could put everything in a green bag. And
As much as you could get in that green
as,
can, you could.
Yard debris.
Well, not really.
Can residents opt out of having being a part of this trash?
That was her question.
That was her question, no.
I couldn't hear.
Yeah.
No, if it's moved to this new system, just like the old system, you don't have a choice. You can certainly bring your own trash to the dumpster, but you'd still be paying for the trash pickup.
Yeah, my bill keeps increasing. We're getting increasing on water, getting increasing on the county taxes, covering for the fire and rescue. Now I gotta pay trash. If something happens, I got trash laying around my yard, I'm gonna be fined for that too.
Well, that's only if you don't do what's required.
And I also have a question, people own all these rental property. I know one particular guy owns about 80, 90 units. Is he gonna have to supply to the renters those big containers?
So each
House.
house that's currently receives a bill will receive one of these trash cans, and then the property owner is responsible for the trash can.
The property owner.
But he doesn't have to buy it. We buy it. The town buys it.
This town has to buy it, so that's another increase in far as the cost. So we got, 1,300 houses in the town of Crewe? Is that what you're
I
saying?
think you said.
1,031
1,000.
customers.
Customers?
Correct.
Not the houses.
Correct.
How many houses we got in the town?
Roughly 1,031.
1,031, okay. So
Roughly.
so it's all water customers, the same housing customers, such.
Correct.
Okay. And we can't control what we got going on now. And we're gonna try to control it and fining everybody that's not being able to keep trash in the containers or have an extra bag. I know my household, when all my kids are around, I got 12, 14 bags of trash.
And part of those
And it's gonna be a $25.
Part of those county
extra
taxes that you were talking about earlier, which, by the way, the town has no control over the county's what the county charges.
Taxes.
That does also include anyone in town can bring any of the trash to one of these dumpster sites, like anyone else in the county.
Sure. Again, why can't I opt out and turn around and just take my own trash to the dump sites and I can have as much trash?
You can certainly not utilize the service, but you still have to pay for the service.
I still got to. And people wonder why there's so many houses going for sale in this town of Crewe.
Okay, well, it's like water and wastewater. You still have to utilize. You still have to pay the bill.
But how much you gonna fleece from the people who own it that's actually doing what they're supposed to be doing?
I don't understand the
The
question.
fees keep increasing.
$2 a month.
Right.
$2 a month here.
Yeah.
Right. And then,
$250 for personal property that's
But-
piled up over.
again, we have.
Yeah,
no
but we're not
control.
responsible
But you see where I'm
for the
getting at.
county.
I'm still having to foot a bill. All the residents are still having to foot a bill, an increase on their taxes, increase on fees. For what?
For a new
To
trash
make the
can and
place
a
beautiful
cleaner
again.
town
I still
and.
can't walk down the sidewalks without tripping and falling because the sidewalks are tore all to pieces. I still got curbs on the street in the town of Crewe that you park, you pop tires because you can't get fixed. The town says it belongs to the state, or the VDOT says it belongs to the town. You got all these issues going on here, we're worried about one trash container.
Boy,
Yes, there are several issues, and we're taking them one at a time, and we can, and all these things, all these solutions cost money. So if we were to, you know, tackle the sidewalks, we just talked about sidewalks a couple months ago with, I'm sorry, let me.
excuse me.
We just talked about the sidewalks a couple of months ago when we talked about the VDOT TAP grant. The, you know, few sections that we were looking at was about $1.5 million for sidewalks. All these are expensive. Now, if we were to do all of that ourselves, that would obviously result in an increase on taxes. So we're trying to take these one at a time and do so in a way that's not overly burdensome. Just for the council had delayed implementing this trash can ordinance because we knew that we were going to have to go up on water and sewer to pay for some of these improvements, and we didn't want to overly burden residents then. So we're taking everything incrementally, but unfortunately, we just need to we need to be able to pay for these
Then
things.
why do we need to go to one trash can? Why don't we just put in practice what we got in place already?
Because it's failing.
Because it's what?
Because it's failing.
Let's do something to fix it.
See, that's what I'm saying.
Do something to fix that.
Well, why don't we, okay, now I'm gonna say something. So, okay, if everyone's concerned about that, then that's a good idea. Talk to the attorney, get him to rewrite the ordinance, make every single person purchase their own cans with their own tops, and fine them heavily when they don't do what they're supposed to do.
Agreed.
I agree.
Can we vote on that?
And then after that, when they don't do it, which they're not, after they don't do it,
Well,
then
that's
when the
not
next
going to
budget
get-
comes
we'll
around,
see.
maybe we can talk about the trash cans.
Yeah.
Well, it's not
That's
just
the
trash
point
cans.
I was
You
trying to
gotta-
make.
I knew you were.
You gotta fix the trucks.
That was my
You better
point,
Get the
too.
trucks to pick up the trash cans.
It's not the trucks, it's the people. It's the
No,
people.
What I'm saying is for the cost.
Because I have to tell you, you weren't here the last time, but it's constant. It's constant. Harassment, yelling, screaming. Can I take you driving through Crewe so you can see all the garbage? It's constant. The people won't do it. They say, my tops are gone, so dogs pull my trash out, and it's all over. What are y'all gonna do about it? We're not gonna do anything. It's your trash can. You need to make sure there's a top on it. So if you want us to do an ordinance, hey, I'm all for it. Enforce the heck out of it.
I'm all for that too, but what I'm not in for is another increase, another cost for something that we already got to practice for, or something that's already implemented.
Well, we really don't. We need to write one.
There's something there because
Yeah.
I'm billed for it, I'm billed for the trash pickup.
Yeah,
We have ordinances, if you don't cut your grass, the town's gonna come
Yeah.
by and cut your grass. But we still got people who own rental houses, they can't fix the houses up. There's a blight to the community itself.
that won't fix the houses up. Can I ask you something, town manager?
I hear what you're saying.
Can I ask something? Can I say something? Can I do something? Can we talk to the town attorney and see if we can get a point blank, easy ordinance, but enforceable?
That's
And
what
start-
we have here.
That's what's in his proposal.
It is the most.
I
It is
know.
the easiest and most enforceable.
I agree.
But that's pertaining to the new can.
Yes.
Correct.
What she said is why can't we get one pertaining to what we currently have in place?
Because again, it's overly complicated.
Well, let's,
So, wait a minute. I don't know what you mean. So it's so
that's what
complicated, we can't clear it up?
I feel
Hey,
like we're going around in
hey,
circles.
guys, hold on, one person at a time. Councilwoman Sapp.
I said it's so complicated that we can't clear it up unless we have new cans. Is that what you're saying?
The practices in place, again, leave too much opportunity for discretion and such, yeah.
So, or is this just something that you want? That you're
No,
not
this
willing
is
to
the
try to fix
people.
something else?
Wait,
this is-
guys, in order, talk in order, please. Councilman Payne, did you have something?
Just
You had your
ask you a
hand up.
question. I've been here 20
Hold-
years.
Hold on a minute, hold on a minute, okay?
I just wanna say one thing.
What?
I thought we agreed to open this up next meeting.
I thought so too, yes.
For public conversation before we have it voted on. That gives us a few minutes, a few weeks to go back and take everything everybody said in, talk to the town attorney, weigh our options, have our public opinion and vote it out and be done. thought that's what we agreed.
I agree with that. Is everybody okay with that?
But I think it's also a good idea to hear what.
But you open
We
up.
can hear.
Oh, yeah, well, we-
It needs to be a back and forth between council and the public. This is for public
No.
to express their opinions and then,
Yes.
Okay, my opinion, I don't like it.
Okay,
I think it's ridiculous, it's additional fine, and that we should fix what we already got in place instead of implementing a higher cost to something else. To
Okay.
beat somebody's fancy.
okay.
Thank you.
Thank you. Does anybody else have anything? Michael? I'm gonna use the gavel to hit my,
how does coleslaw go with pancakes? I'm still worried about that.
I forgot on the previous public comment
okay.
on the topic of the pancake supper. I do need to apologize to the mayor for burning her phone up when that incident happened, because
It's okay.
I burned it up, so.
It's okay.
But I appreciate you answering.
It's okay.
Also, and this is to Phil, what do I need to do for next year so we can try and get it scheduled so we don't have a conflict if possible?
Can we just put it on the,
sure, but,
put it on
and
there? Yeah.
just for clarification, there was a clerical error that wasn't discovered until that week. And as you mentioned before, mistakes happen, and this was a mistake, and we're going to, and yeah, that's,
Okay. Y'all's Thanksgiving dinner is planned for the 20th of November, so is our pancake dinner.
correct. We've,
Oh, but
we've
it's
looked
in
at
the
that, and
afternoon.
it's, ours is, around noonish. Yours is 4-ish. Should be good.
Should be.
Will be.
It'll be
Will
fine.
be good. Okay, I just wanted to make sure. I just
Cause you're
wanted-
gonna cook at 5 o'clock and we're gonna eat at 12.
Yeah, but I'm usually in here at 2:33.
It'll
Yeah,
be
it's more
gone,
than-
that'll be
it-
fine.
No one will be in here at that time.
That's
We'll
what
be
my
gone.
concern was. That's where my concern, I just didn't want it to be a.
We'll be gone.
I was coming in on y'all's turkey dinner and saying, hey, all right, turkey.
Turkey pancakes. Alrighty.
Now, I got a question on your water upgrade that I was listening to earlier. And I mean, it's just out of my own
Yeah.
curiosity. When you were talking about the engineering and the planning of it, were y'all factoring in the growth of the town of Crewe and the future of, and maybe this is directed to you, the future of, right now, I believe you said the code is 6-inch pipe?
Yeah.
Is that
Yes,
gonna change?
is the answer to the question.
Up to an 8-inch? Probably not. Probably not, okay.
Yes, we are factoring all of that in.
Okay, well, I just,
No.
I figured you were,
Yep.
but I didn't remember hearing it when you said it, when you were talking about it.
Right.
But I mean, and the reason I was bringing it up is if you're getting the grants to do it now, it wouldn't impact cost in the future if you were able to figure it out.
Right, absolutely, and in fact, that's why Buddy mentioned that he met with Hurt Profit, who's our engineer. We asked Hurt Profit to just meet with the chief and Buddy to make sure everyone's on the same page and all these factors are taken into consideration.
All right, thank you.
Yep.
That's all.
Thank you.
Okay. All right, are there any other public You're okay. Come till we don't have no more.
First of all, I'd like to say on behalf of Tiffany, that's just the way it is. You all sitting around the table, you know, to talk to the public that way and to give them that type of answer. I don't think that's too professional. That's just the way it is. We should be using that.
That language was not used.
Okay.
I did not say that.
Okay. That's what I heard. And second of all, I don't want this to turn into one of these situations where it come down to money, where we get like the states do. You know, they had this 25 cent, 50 cent for tolls to pay for the roads. And it went on and on and on until someone said something about it. So when it come down to adding extra money to get things done, and I know things have to be done, there's going to be improvement. Can we come up with a number to show how much money we need so something just isn't attacked on and it goes on and on and on? So can we come up with a budget to find out how much money we're going to raise as far as adding on to water or whatever the expense are, and when would that be cut off?
I'm sorry, are you talking about the trash can?
Trash
That
can?
that is, the cost is included in there, and how long that would take. It's about $89,000 total, and would take about 3.5 years to recover at a $2 per month increase.
Can we please be quiet? Thank you.
What was that?
No, in the audience. I was just-
Okay, that's it, thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
I don't think we have any more people. Bill, you have anything you want to say? I think you're it. All righty, if there's no other public comments, then we'll move on to announcements and points of personal privilege. Councilman Payne, you got anything? Goodness, excuse me.
I know.
Rick?
I did have one other question. I know it's been on since I've been here, and I come in looking for an agenda, and there wasn't one here. And I don't have a problem. I do have a computer at home. I can do my own. But this is something that we no longer doing as far as.
No, because of the changeover and everything that's been going on, we forgot to print them out today. Or if they were printed out, I forgot to pick them up. But you can always go to townofcrewe.com, and the agenda is always on there.
Thank you.
I'm going to try to do better next time. Councilman Payne?
From a personal perspective, I don't like taxes either. I don't like raises. I don't like taxes. I get it. And I don't think there's anybody sitting at this table that takes it lightly that we have to do. I do want to say that. Second of all, Tiffany, Bill, Town, y'all did a great job. I'll let you know that. Y'all really did. Tiffany worked herself to death. I saw Phil flying all over the place. Old Bernie was sitting there worrying me to death, but besides that, in all honesty, I just want to say I think y'all are doing a great job and trying to do the best you can. And I know people are gonna get upset about the decisions that get made, but it's just, I don't know what to say. I really don't, but I want to thank y'all for the opportunity to be here and a chance to experience this. It's been interesting.
Councilman Stiff?
I just observed that y'all giving Tiffany and town manager and Brenda and Rick and all them, y'all forgot about who parked on their cars down there.
We haven't forgot. I haven't had a chance to talk yet.
Brenda had you on her radar.
I haven't had a chance to talk yet.
Nobody mentioned it, but Stanley had parked these cars down
Well, I wasn't there, so I didn't see.
here. If that's the way y'all want to do this, then I just sit back. I had to do a pretty decent job doing it, because Trey Taylor asked me to come on there and park for him this weekend.
There you go, and I was going to say that.
From the council on it.
It wasn't only Councilman Stith, it was a whole group of them he brought. It was a whole crowd. Vice Mayor Stinson.
I got nothing to say.
Well, hallelujah. Well, I was going to say that I wanted to thank everybody for everything that they did at the Chicken Festival. And I was going to say the parking cars, right down to the people in the food and just the people at the alcohol booth. Everybody was good, and the security guards were great. All of it. Nobody. I went home and turned on my police scanner just to watch and see. And then I heard there was a fire, so I was like, oh my goodness. Yeah, a tiny fire. Fireworks, according to Buddy Hyde. All right. Councilwoman Sadowski?
Halloween event Friday, 5 to 7.
Okay.
Come out and volunteer for that as well.
Yes.
5 to 7? All right.
The scary putt-putt is especially.
Oh, no. We're going to be in the dark.
Only for a few of the holes. We do have the black lights.
Okay. Councilwoman Sapp? Councilwoman Wade?
I didn't see it.
Huh?
I didn't see it.
You done said enough. Okay.
I have just one thing. I forgot to mention it, but just one thing that was especially meaningful during the Chicken Festival. I was taking a delegate Ware around and walking up to people and stopped at one group, and Senator Mulcahy was there actually talking to them. Because it was actually Senator Ruff's widow and her son. And apparently they had been, they started going with the senator to Chicken Festival every year, and they decided to keep that tradition going. So it was really nice to see them, and they did mention that we need to have the gizzards next time. So we'll definitely work on that.
Gizzards. Gizzards.
I'm not sure how to cook them, but I'll try not to boil them.
Okay. Great.
Yeah, you're fine.
Okay.
But I thought that was just meaningful that they're carrying on that tradition that the late senator started.
That was good. All right. Well, I'm going to ask the town manager to take us into closed session.
This time, the mayor would need a motion to go into closed session pursuant to Virginia Code Section 2.2-3711A3, discussion and consideration of the acquisition of real property for public purpose or the disposition of publicly held real property, where discussion in an open meeting would adversely affect the bargaining position or negotiating strategy of the public body.
Okay. Is there a motion to go into closed?
I move we go into closed session.
Is there a second?
I second it.
All right. All in favor?
Aye.
We're in closed session. You can take a 5-minute break, and
Well, let's make it a 3-minute.
we can take a 3-minute break and come back.
Tiffany will be on in 45 seconds.
See you later.
Thank you, Tiffany.
Can I get your bag? Can you please just pull me right on out?
Thanks, buddy. Are you?
Yes.
Okay. I'm
Debatable.
But also, I do want to try to get some more of that. I don't want to get this one done with this. So I'm making it in the morning or I'm making it in the afternoon, but it won't be out.
The guys did.
They trying to get rid of me.
No, they didn't, well, they didn't, yeah. Your son is not there. I have no idea where it's around here somewhere.
It's fine. It's probably somewhere where we don't need it there.
There you go. Y'all have a good one. Bye.
Because the town is going to
Probably drowned himself in the toilet. So,
Whatever they not talking about is the negative effects of the rain.
Hey, Mike, I'll see you on Thursday.
Oh, well, anyway, we just need to get that community center calendar marked up Thursdays off.
Okay.
cause it was
If you won't see
Well, and the garden club, we came out, it was community center for free, and then we got to, they rented a place where we always pay. It's a lot.
yeah. Oh, yeah.
They let somebody else pay for it, but we couldn't do it. So now we're here, which is where we wanted to be anyway.
Yeah.
They didn't charge us.
Can you, I wonder,
I will never
I
say.
can't, I'm just trying to think about everything I do for the Christmas. We don't have bathrooms for the Christmas parade. Do we have bathrooms?
And they're not gonna tell you.
No, I didn't think so.
No, you don't need that.
I was look, I was trying to think, and I don't think I wrote it down on the list.
Yes,
I was like, I think I need bathrooms. But, what I'm trying to do is find the list from the Black Stone Parade last year. Because there's a band that I list, and I can't find it. I think they took it down on purpose. But because I like to look at what other people, what other towns have, what other groups they have, so I can see them.
What's this?
I like to go on Blackstone's parade lineup and see who they had last
Oh, I
year,
see.
so I can reach out. But I think Chris Hayes hit it this year, cause I can't find it from last year.
Well, it's I think Billy Coleman has it on just with the old
One
papers.
thing they did when we went to that Christmas, I think I told you,
Because
Christmas
there's some really
parade
good
down in
bands.
Mount Airy, individual families just signed.
Oh, I know, you told me that last year.
And it was so cute.
Did you go at Christmas time?
Yeah, it was their Christmas parade.
You know, Rick wants to go. He asked me today. He said, "Can we go somewhere for just 3 or 4 days for Christmas?" I said, "I don't want to go far because I don't want to go to Gatlinburg and put the boys with everybody
Well,
under the planet."
it was probably, their Christmas parade was,
Rick, let's go to Mayberry RFD. Mayberry RFD.
That's about 20 miles from the Randy community.
Let's go there. Ann went there for Christmas, not
for the
Christmas.
Christmas parade.
For the Christmas. When was that though? Close
I'd
to
have to
Christmas.
look.
Yeah.
You
Let us
told
know. I'd
me
like to do
before huh?
Hey Phil, one of the things you might want to figure out before we get into anything else, the trash cans, you might want to figure out how they're going to secure them so they don't blow over. Whether they got to be in corrals or be chained down, or whatever you're going to do.
They can't be in corrals because they're too fat. How you gonna pick it up out of a corral?
You just make the front bar so you can lift it up and just
Oh
pull it out.
Lord. That's-
Because you got to think.
Okay, it's been past 3 minutes. Can you tell them to get in here? I'm trying to go
He's
home
talking
tonight.
about the new trash cans.
Right, and well, I think what most localities do is you put them out there and they
Jackie moved.
And then
and